Hey everybody, it's Brian McGovern from Quimby Brown. 2009 is going to be a pretty bad year for a lot of people in the special events industry, and I'm sure it's not news to you. Every time you look at the newspaper, you're seeing more and more bad news. You see the holiday parties canceled, you see the attendance numbers for trade shows down, conferences, incentives. Anything that you normally did last year in the event business has either been downsized or done away with completely. But while it's bad news for our industry's growth numbers as a whole, it's not a decisive loss for everybody in the business. The special events industry is made up of thousands of unique businesses, and it's run by people with unique advantages and disadvantages. And yeah, collectively, all those businesses are going to be down. But if you look at any bell curve for business results, you'll see that while most businesses hover around the average, some of them are going to do much better than the average. Some of them are going to do much worse than the average, and most are going to do about average. And I guess the question you want to ask yourself is, by the end of 2009, is your company going to be, basically, where's it going to be on the bell curve? Are you going to be in 12 months? Where are you going to be at the end of 2009? And I think basically the answer to that question depends on what actions you take right now, this minute. I mean, there's a saying that says if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've keep. Well, what do they say? If you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you got, right? But when there's major disruptions in the status quo and you just keep trying to do what you're used to doing, you're essentially heading towards disaster. And Me Too thinking is probably the biggest cause of the downfall of so many different companies. The average event business owner tries to imitate every other event company owner. They mimic each other's websites, they copy their advertising style, and they even offer very, very similar types of packages, types of services, and they charge pretty much the same price too, which is why it's so hard to distinguish one from the other. I mean, one catering hall seems like another one. One wedding reception looks like the last one you went to. The band, the DJ, the invitations, everything looks the same. Every trade show looks and feels like every other trade show, and every awards dinner just seems to look like the last one. So, if you're going to succeed in 2009, what you're going to have to do is break away from that Me Too thinking that really limits your pricing, limits your customers' loyalty to you, and break through and try to do something different. If you're going to be able to make money while everybody else is losing money, you've got to think differently. You can't afford to think the way you did last year. You can't continue to market your business the way you did last year. If you imitate the failing strategies of your competition, you're just guaranteeing your own failure. So I guess what I'm saying is that this is a bad year to play the Me Too game. And when your neighbor is losing his business, then it's time to stop, playing, monkey see, monkey do. It is not safe to conform, especially in the environment where the average business is losing. So, maybe I'm beating this into the ground, but no more monkey see, monkey do. It's for monkeys. If you are going to copy anybody out there, make sure you're copying the businesses that are successful. Make sure you're imitating the winners and not the losers. The winners for 2009 are using new ideas that work today. They're not clinging on to the old advertising, marketing, and sales tactics that they used for the last 10 years. Those don't work as well anymore because your customers are not behaving the way they used to behave. So that means that you're going to want to do less of the traditional type of advertising and more of the new type of advertising. You want to do less of the telemarketing and look more towards doing social marketing. And I know this looks pretty confusing, but there's good news. I mean, these strategies actually do work. They're not expensive, and it's not that complicated. Even if it were, you don't have too much choice in the matter as to try to avoid doing this anymore. Okay, your potential customers, they are going online more and more to find new event providers. Yes or no? Okay, Yellow Pages is a dusty thing that sits under a desk. People are not using that anymore. They're going online, they're going to Yahoo and Google, and if they're not finding you easily, then they're going to find somebody else who to do business with. So you can't afford to ignore it anymore. And I'm not saying, hey, if you throw up a website, that's the end of your problems. We most of us already have websites, but I guarantee your website's not making you money. So you need more than just a website. You need a strategy that works. And I know that the average business owner is saying, oh, it's too complicated, and I'm just going to stick to what I did in the past because that's what I understand, or I don't have time for this, I don't have money for this. You know what? That's exactly what the average business owner says. And we already discussed, you do not want to be thinking like the average event business owner. It's time to think different. This is not a gimmick or a nice to have. This is not a luxury or a fad. This is something that's really critical to your business's survival, a web strategy that works. Now, look, I know there's a lot of information. There's a lot of information out there about how to do this, but what I've done is I've created a website just for event professionals that are trying to market themselves in a new, more effective way, and a lot of times less costly way to bring in new customers. So we have free information just for event professionals that are looking to market themselves. And we also have a free book and how-to articles on how to get your business up in line and start bringing in new customers. And right now you can get a copy of the free book, How to Promote Your Event Business and Get Clients Now, by going to quimbybrown.com. So make sure you go to the website. We'd love to be able to hear from you, hear what's working, hear what problems you have, and help you make money in 2009. Good luck. Thanks so much.